Welcome back to the Mothership RPG. This is us doing a horror thing for October. I believe episode one is out on Patreon right now, and it got one comment where someone was like, "Great, I love horror, so good. We're making this show specifically for you." And this is it. This is the last reunion of this cast, I think. I'm gonna delete the Stars Without Numbers R channel after tonight. Like it gets a 24-hour reprieve and then it's done.
Tap in
So
the chat, y'all.
Other channels expect to get bombarded.
you arrived for another bug hunt in this series where I made some weird editing choices, including adding the noise of the bug scream to all of the like editing flavoring that I did. I don't know. I don't think it worked out that well, and I don't think it was as jarring and horror-like as I wanted it to be, but Dunamis is the only one who's really listened to it, so he seemed to like it. You
I did.
arrived for another bug hunt aboard the Metamorphosis, a J2C-I executive transport, and landed on planet to head to Greta-based terraforming colony. You were to rendezvous with Second Lieutenant Kaplan, re-establish satellite communications, get the terraformer back online, and if all else failed, evacuate Dr. Edom, the mission specialist here, as well as the colony's synthetic science officer, Hinton. Well, Kaplan is dead. Satellite communications would be a mistake. The terraformer is offline, and all electronic signals are being subsumed by a computer slash organic virus that can jump to electronics, possibly even androids, and definitely it affected the organic handheld bioscanner that one
Mhm.
of your scientists had with you. We're seeing all this happen through the eyes of Anders, our pilot. You are getting the lowdown from Dr. Philip Manson, exobiologist, and Dr. Phineas Mason, cyberneticist. You have been forced to leave the cockpit door open while you are moving, which is always a mistake. And the two of them are arguing with each other, loudly recapping everything that's happened over the last few hours that they've been away. They are both in stained jungle covered hazmat suits with the helmets off, screaming at each other and bickering, trying to get your attention and tell you everything that's happened and all the things that are going on. Anders, you're in a bit of a tight spot because you normally have Renfield to help you co-pilot, but Renfield is now infected with an alien virus. The captain, who is also your boss and primary income provider, Captain Fur Baker, is also not here. And your CFAB, your computer flight assistance backup, went offline on the way down. And your weather instruments indicate that it could be upwards of like 40 hours to a week before this storm clears. And rather than go back up to the Metamorphosis, you all have decided to fly to the mountain that everyone's been heading to every time they get infected. But along the way there, you see that Heron Terraforming Base has people outside of it. You can see the occasional carcinid, sort of horrifying bug monster with unusual number of limbs patrolling outside in a very strange way. But you also see Marines on ATVs riding around, and when they see your craft flying through the sky, through like illuminated and backlit through lightning blasts, one of them lights off a flare and tries to get you to follow them. And as you go through the storm and the darkness of hurricane force winds, you see that they're trying to lead you to Heron Terraforming Base. And this is from off camera. I think I edited this part out, but we made a decision. We're going to stop at Heron and maybe try to get some Marines to go
Yeah.
with you. Now, this craft can hold 8 people. It is the larger dropship from the Metamorphosis. The Metamorphosis crew has a smaller dropship that can carry 5 people on it if you need to call somebody down. But of course, if you try to send a communication up to the Metamorphosis, you're going to have to cut through the signal jamming that's going on. And as you're getting closer, you realize the signal jamming is coming from the terraforming station here. It's coming
Mhm.
from the tower attached to this terraforming base. So, Anders, while all this is happening, while these two are yelling at each other and trying to proclaim that their brand of science is better, and as you listen to truly horrifying tales about how you came seconds away from being infected with an alien virus when you tried to contact the crew on short range radio and were just being jammed by the storm, I need you to make a piloting roll to bring this thing in towards Heron Base.
You got it.
This could be a short mission.
Yeah, it could
And,
be a short mission for sure, for real.
yeah, as Anders makes this roll, she'll like look over her shoulder at them and shout, Bert, Ernie, just buckle up, hold tight. We've got some friendlies down here. We're gonna see what happens.
That's Dr. Burton, Dr. Ernie to you.
In a rare moment of agreement, Manson's like, for once, what he said.
And would this be intellect, I guess, or speed, or what are we doing here?
Think speed, probably.
Oh, that's my worst one.
I know it's not your best, but you do get, piloting, which
I do get my
actually-
bonus
yeah.
plus 15 on this. So here
It's
we go.
basically a coin flip. It's not a good coin flip.
Not a
though.
great one.
Hey, your stress went up.
Congratulations.
You try following the ATVs going in with the hurricane force winds. You can see that they are like leading away Carsonids. So Carsonids are not fast enough to keep up with the dropship, nor are they fast enough to keep up with the ATVs. So like one of the Marines drives away while wildly firing a gun in the air. It seems like there's no possible way anyone could hear the sound of the gun firing. Maybe it's the flashes. Maybe they have some way of detecting weapons fire that you can't see, right? Like maybe they have some sort of sixth sense. But they begin following that ATV as the other two lead you towards the base. And then your craft takes several lightning strikes. You're trying to pull in, and you just hear like CFAB offline. Warning. Ground. 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 Pull up.
Oh God, what's
Pull up.
happening?
Pull up.
Anders, this wasn't this rough on the way in before.
You full on
Oh my-
land in the Heron terraforming base with your dropship, and it's never taking off again. This thing is completely
Oh.
totaled. Both of the cyberneticist and our exobiologist you slap them in place with their 5-point restraining harness, and they are being like shaken back there as you hit the ground at like 100 miles an hour and just slide along concrete for way too long. You just hear parts of the bottom of the ship coming off that you need in order to get back into space. There it is. See, that's where we get the gamers in an FPS game become voice actors moment, is right there. This guy, Helldiver 2s. You can
What's
see-
going on?
That was a little jarring. Are we going to be able to leave?
No. No.
But
Well, why not?
okay, all right. You know what? Maybe they have another ship here. Actually, no, they wouldn't. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying to flag us down. This is we're so screwed. We're so screwed.
You look outside. There absolutely is not another ship in here. In fact, it looks like maybe a dozen people have thrown themselves out of the way of your crash landing ship. There seem to be some ATVs that are like half disassembled, and people with like rifles, a rocket launcher. Perhaps most concerning is that inside this hangar bay, there are internal defenses people set up, like sandbags. Wisely, there are some that point outside the hangar towards like the storm and towards the approaching Carsonids, and already they're bringing the hangar bays down. Much more concerning are the ones that are inside, pointing deeper into the facility. There's really no reason to set up a defense station like that unless the Carsonids were already in here.
Right then, you there, and I just point to a random soldier nearby. I'm assuming the door being shut means we're safe and secure. Yes, right? Yes.
I would like you to roll a d12.
I would like to stumble out of the back of this and fall
Yeah.
to the ground and just, oh, sweet concrete.
I'm just gonna start ripping
Okay.
out any helpful thing, pulling it out of it.
You point to someone wearing a corporal's uniform, and sorry, what did you say to him?
Now that the door's shut, I'm assuming we're safe and secure. Yes, right? Yes.
He looks at you and says, "Yes, sir, Egghead. I think we're good." And he pulls back the charging handle on his machine gun. And he's like, "Can't wait to go kill some Carsonids, sir." You see this woman, Sergeant Valdez. Okay, Valdez, let's keep it together here. All right. Now, I'm going to need to commandeer your shuttle in the name of Hog Squad. And we need to begin an external attack on this facility. All right. Who's in command of this vessel?
That thing isn't moving.
Okay.
External?
It's done. 2 lightning strikes in a row, all the electronics fried, barely got it down on the ground.
You can see this shave head Marine is just running her hand through the stubble of where her hair used to be, looking very stressed.
Nothing
She
I
looks
can
back
do.
towards the first guy you talked to, Corporal Novikov, and then sort of straightens herself up, pulls herself together, and says, "Okay, who's in command of your particular dropship?"
We just probably start looking at each other. What is this?
Yeah, pilot, over here,
we
next
lost
to
it.
me.
Well, I'm a
we lost it.
xenobiologist. I don't know if that's an answer to your question.
What that? Unrelated. We're both doctors.
They're in charge
We
of
are both
questions.
doctors.
You hear someone say, "Excuse me, I'm the ranking doctor on site," and like pushes
Oh.
aside,
No.
and you see Dr. Edom, who you have like a mission profile to evacuate this person in case of an emergency. Dr. Edom, his glasses are kind of askew. He has like one strand of hair out of place that he pushes back into place, pushes his glasses up, and says, "Now, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, miss, I believe that I am in command as the mission specialist here. You should listen to me. There are things inside this facility that need doing. Some research needs to be collected before we leave, and I
Oh
believe
God,
that
another
you're."
one of this one.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to,
You
while he's
sound
talking,
just like this man over here.
I want to be walking over to and reach out a hand to shake his hand.
Okay, he shakes your hand and says, "Yes. Sorry, do I know you?"
I was in your lab earlier. I'm Dr. Manson. It's a
Dr.
pleasure to
Philip
meet you.
Manson.
Yes, indeed.
Ah, I hadn't put the name to the face. Renowned exobiologist. I've read some of your papers. I wouldn't say they were inspired, but certainly you're better than some sort of back alley cyberneticist.
Beg your pardon?
And it's good to know that you're still at the top of your field identifying when creatures want to mate.
What can I say? Mating is a large part of what I do.
I do believe what you have done is caused this problem with the signal that we then set off and turned backwards before it.
Recoils a little bit.
So while that's happening, a third person approaches. This person appears to be a Marine, but has also taken off their uniform rank, which is pretty odd, all things considered. He approaches and says, "Hospital Corpsman Brookman, we need to get out of here. We need to be evacuating this facility immediately. I'm in charge here, and I need the 3 of you to get this machine working, and we need to go."
Well, good news and bad news. You have to give me a second to think of the good news, but the bad news is that's not going anywhere unless you have really good mechanics and a whole lot of spare parts anyways.
We don't have any mechanics, and we have no spare parts.
Well, the apparently lesser cyberneticist here is quite adept at mechanical repairs.
How
We
are
had a whole argument about you not being a mechanic, and now you want to say you're a mechanic? Oh my God, such a drama queen.
It's better than some xenobiologist.
Look,
I say that looking at both of them.
Gentlemen, all hope here is lost. We are fucked then if this ship isn't taking off. We have no chance unless we call down some sort of additional support or a dropship or something like that.
Well, we can't use communications, but
So he holds out a key card that has his face and name on it. And he says, "Fortunately, I have the only key card left that will open the control rooms that are both at the Greta base," which he doesn't know you guys have already been to and you've broken into, and the tower here. If we can get to the tower, we might be able to reset the control room and the orbital relays. I think one of my guys, he snaps his fingers. He's like, hey, someone get over here. I don't know, Tanaka, and like someone else comes over who's dressed like an absolute nerd, who's just like, I'm sorry. I understand. Dr. Mason, did you say your name was? Dr. Phineas Mason?
Yes, yes, yes.
Actually, I don't think you said your name. I recognize you. I'm Dr. Ken Kawaguchi.
Oh, pleasure. Finally, someone of renown.
Yes, of
I have
course.
no idea
Well,
who this
Dr.
person is.
Edom has been attempting to take over this facility's mission for some time. I should be the science leader here. He was just promoted because of his, fame and popularity. So I understand your problems with Dr. Manson, or whatever his name is. Mr. Manson, perhaps we should call him.
I
Now,
like you already.
just to be clear, this person who just came over, Dr. Kawaguchi, is in Brookman's squad, and you can see that the 3 people who've come over to talk to you so far, Hospital Corpsman Brookman, Dr. Edom, and Sergeant Valdez, these 3 people all represent different factions in this room of people who hate each other and who all have a different plan on how to survive. But based on the supplies that are in this room, everyone will be dead in 48 hours. There's nowhere near enough food or water. I mean, maybe they can walk outside and open their mouths to get some water, but ammunition, there's some working ATVs and there are some non-working ATVs. It's not good in here, and you can see that the lights inside the hangar are flickering occasionally. And when that happens, you see Valdez is like looking at you, Anders, and is like, you seem like you're the only one who has your head screwed on straight. I'm just a tech officer, but I think we need to get down to the reactor immediately. If we can't blow open a hole in the side of this facility, get into the reactor, and get it working again, we're going to lose power. So we either need to cut through this facility in a stealth mission, secure the area, and get a specialist in there to repair it, or we need to just die. Those are our options. Okay, Anders?
Oh, well, I got. She scampers off and pulls out a big pack with a laser cutter. Like, we got cut through something?
Valdez puts her hand on your shoulder and says, finally, someone with their head screwed on straight. Meanwhile, Edom has pulled Dr. Manson aside and is like, look, here's the problem. The company that sent you here needs my research. I've been trying to figure out if the Carsonids have a weakness that can be exploited.
Oh
They
my
seem
god.
like a animal species that if we could get control of this so-called signal or scream, they would be an excellent domesticatable race, like dogs or cows. But I can see right now that we clearly need a way to easily defeat them. I've been experimenting with chemotherapy meds and also hydrofluoric acid. To some extent, it's been working, but I need the research that's down in my lab. Surely another exobiologist like yourself would understand the value of this research. We have to get down there. I can't leave without it.
Absolutely. I think the answer to keeping ourselves alive here and making sure that the deaths were worth it is this research.
Exactly. The deaths will be worth it. And Edom takes your hand and puts a hand on your shoulder as well. And Metal Gear Solid style, you enter a cinematic where, like the voice quality is slightly different, and he like gestures through the hangar and he says, that elevator over there, as long as power's working, we can get down to the lab. Or perhaps, and he like turns his head, you turn your head, the camera turns its head. The staircase. If we lose power, the only way down to the lab is through that staircase over there. Meanwhile, we cut back Brookman, who is trying to convince you that you need to take this key card and drive over top of the dam to the tower and get the tower back on. And he's like, listen, what'd you say your name was? Phineas?
Yes, just call me Flick for short.
Okay, yeah, Flick, whatever. I'm Brookman. Look, we're losing coherency here. I don't think I need to tell you that a Marine squad split 3 ways is not very useful. All right?
I would
No
agree
matter
with that.
what happens on this mission, all these other teams that have decided not to follow the chain of command, they're all going to be fucking dead. They're going to be executed when they get back up there. All right? We need to be concerned about ourselves. Those people, they're already dead. Dr. Edom is a lunatic. Okay? I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid right now. We need to get off of this planet immediately. We have to get to the tower. We have to reestablish communication with the orbital relay. We need to break through this signal jamming or whatever has happened. I think we are the ones broadcasting it.
Can I make some sort of quick assessment on the ship? Is it truly beyond any type of
Yeah, it's
repair?
absolutely fucked. Yep.
You know, it pains me to say this, but I think you are partially right that our ship here, the shuttle, is not going anywhere, and our primary objective I don't actually even know if Lieutenant Andrews knows this, but it was to secure falls fails Dr. Eden evacuate or Dr. Hinton in his core. So in order to even evacuate someone, we must have another ship or another way of transportation, which we have none.
When you say Hinton, you're standing next to Dr. Kawaguchi on your left side, and someone else who is like sunken eyes, pale skin, dark circles, just comes up biting their fingers, stands at your right side and says, Hinton? Hinton's the one who caused all this, man.
Well, we need their core, their logic core.
Yeah.
It's either that or
logic
Eden.
core is infected for sure. Like Hinton's a problem.
Yes, but
Hinton's
we know
not
where he
just
is.
You can hear other people nearby just like, Hinton didn't do this, Sobel. Calm down. And somebody else is just like, can someone get Sobel some medicine? And the medic Brookman's just like, there's nothing wrong with him medically. He's just crazy.
Well, be that as it may, in order for, well, I can't even say in order for us to return because we have no means of transportation, but our primary objective was evacuating Dr. Eden, who frankly is not on my nice list right now, or getting the core of Dr. Hinton.
So Eden says, I can understand why you would want to get me off planet, but no, my research is too valuable. We have to get down to the lab and recover it.
The lab he's referring to, is that the lab we already came from?
No, it's the lab in this facility inside
Different
the
lab.
hydroelectric dam. So this is a hydroelectric dam / terraforming facility. And I sent you guys the map, right? That shows how it all fits together incredibly confusingly.
Oh, is that what this bright orange thing is?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You are on the hangar, which you can see
version of
is
this.
located on like the northeast side.
Yeah.
Brookman, once you go to the tower, which is an entire level up, and on the left side, across a long drive on the top of the dam. And then you have to climb to the top of the tower if the power is out, which it's currently on, to get to the orbital relay and turn that on.
This feels like Jurassic Park going to turn on the power again.
Have our asides with our probable factions ended and we're sort of talking in the same space again?
I think that I'm gonna leave that up to you, right? There's more. They're like those 3 faction leaders are not the only people in this room, right? Like we've talked to Novikov, we've talked to Sobel, we've talked to Dr. Kawaguchi, but those 3 are the ones who are proposing missions for you. Everybody else is just like whining and complaining and seems to have thrown their lot in with someone who has some leadership skill. The 3 of you do need to make a choice, and it is funny that one leader has proposed a plan to each of you and you're like, that's a good plan. It's truly the Professorson of community level of plans where you just go along with whatever the last person who talked to you said.
I like this. You're smart.
This seems quite simple, really. If we send a signal to orbit, we transmit this to the ship and this spreads. So we can't send a signal until we know how to defeat the signal that's harming everybody. And to get that answer, we need the research. We can't call for help until we can defeat the signal.
I think we can clear the signal out of the tower and the orbital relay. Now, my man here, and he like grabs one of his men and shakes them, and he's like, My man here has the plan. All right. We can clear out all the problems and get everything working if you just come with me and believe in me.
And what exactly are you? The specialist here?
The hospital corpsman, the highest ranking remaining Marine.
Oh no, I have a man for this.
Oh, so he goes and he finds Ivanovic.
Cool.
That's the
Russian.
person he's shaking
Strong.
around, and he's just like, Ivanovic here can teach us everything we need to know in order to clear out the key area. And then Kawaguchi steps forward and goes, he's an idiot. I am a doctor. All right. I know how to clear out. This is just another hunt for bugs in the code. All right. I have a program set to execute right here. And with an hour's worth of training, I can probably confer with my fellow doctor here, or even this pilot, and correctly. I'm sorry, miss. I would never want to teach an exobiologist anything, of course.
Oh,
He
right.
looks at Edom when he says
Too
that.
squishy.
He looks at Edom when he says that.
Yeah, because
But Manson is nodding like, yeah, right? We already know.
What is it that can you maybe before jumping to solutions, perhaps could you tell us what exactly you all believe is wrong with the signal? Because clearly you have two different methods
How do you
to
know
fix
that's
it.
the
Is the-
source? How do you know it's the tower?
yeah, what is the root cause that we believe? Because you have different solutions, but perhaps the root cause is not yet agreed upon.
I mean, all three of the leaders begin proposing their plans at the same time, shouting over each other.
God damn it.
Valdez is shouting about power.
Mm-hmm.
Edom is shouting that until we get his research, there's no point in leaving. And Brookman is shouting that if they can turn off the signal, we can at least get someone down to reinforce, if not get them off planet. Now, when he says reinforce, what he really means is he wants to leave, right? Like you get the
Yeah.
feeling that this guy is on the verge of a psychological breakdown and he wants to leave very badly.
Look, this seems very simple to me. We look at the research so that we can protect ourselves and whoever we call for help from the signal. We then go to power to make sure we can repair it and keep it on to utilize the tower, and then we call for help and get picked up and leave. Seems
Dr.
really
Manson,
simple to me.
we've already attempted to use the research to negate the signal. We failed. Don't
We
you remember
didn't-
what happened?
We did not have
and
that's a good point. I did not have all the research, and as soon as we turned that on, it started transmitting something. That's going to happen with the tower. We turn it on, and then we go to put a program in. Who knows how many of these people are going to be infected while we wait for that program to run?
Kawaguchi is just like, my program will run during the boot sequence. I guarantee that this will work correctly.
See, he guarantees it.
Not only will we clear out the tower, also the orbital relay, 100%. I'm willing to literally put my life behind it because what other option do we have?
But see, there are no guarantees in science, and I'm not willing to stake my life on your guarantee.
You say there are no guarantees in science. He punches you in the face immediately. Kawaguchi
Like
just
this man.
absolutely punches you and he says, there are no guarantees in science.
I am with this
Brookman
man.
immediately grabs him and holds him back. And he's like, Dr. Kawaguchi, please act with some professionalism and restraint. Valdez is like, I'm in command here, Brookman. Follow my orders or I'm going to see you be executed in a court martial. And Dr. Edom is just like, please, can we stop fighting? This facility is not meant for executing a war. Everyone just listen to me.
I know you sent us a picture of.
We're just being reasonable here and following a logical chain of solutions.
I know we have the visual of Dr. Edom, but I'm totally picturing what's her face from the Halo TV show.
Oh God, what was her name?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna bother me now.
The one that's based off of Cortana or whatever.
The person that created Cortana.
I didn't watch the Halo TV show, but I assume that's what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, her attitude is totally of that same right up that alley. Well, clearly, Dr. Manson and I will never agree. Lieutenant Anders, what are your thoughts on this? And please don't say go get power, because that is the third choice.
Brookman says, maybe the three of you should split up and we should execute all of the missions at the same time.
You're a genius.
Oh, rate of success plummeting. Yes, good.
No, but talk to me again. Like, I just want to leave. I just want to get out of here in one piece as much as possible. I mean, what's the power gonna do? What?
As you say that, the entire room goes dark as the power flickers again, and Valdez
Not
says,
again.
we are gonna die if the power goes out.
See, now that's a strong argument.
Brookman says, we're gonna die if we're here.
That's also a strong argument.
Edom says, my research takes priority over all other jurisdictions.
Well, no, that I don't like.
Well,
does
this
not
is a
make
company
sense.
order. I am the mission commander mission specialist for this particular outfit.
What
We did not get our orders from you on base, therefore I do not have.
Yeah,
those.
so I want to point out, you guys are contractors. You don't work
Yes.
for the company. So yeah, he doesn't have any authority to order.
That's what I was
Like,
gonna say.
regardless of any difference in opinions on any of these, the path that gets us out of here without killing everyone in orbit and not helping our situation at all is learn how to defeat the signal, then make sure we have power for the tower, and then call for help.
Kawaguchi can take out the signal now.
Any other order
Where's the lab?
involves us
Where's the
killing
lab?
ourselves or other people.
The lab's on the way to the power. Is that right?
Is it?
Let's take a look at our maps.
Our handy dandy.
So
nope.
if the power is on and doesn't go off during your transit, you can take the elevator to the lab, according to Dr. Edom.
Oh yeah. It is on the way down.
Directly beneath. Now,
The hydro
the
reactor's
power
at the
problem,
bottom.
yes, is that the hydro reactor requires going all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the lab and then we go hit power and we use everything we've learned and secured to go up and call for help and wait at the tower.
I think that's the best option, but I'm gonna say this right now. If the lab looks dicey, we skip it. We gotta get that power first. Because it sounds like that's gonna
Power's out now, so going to the tower doesn't make any sense.
Power is back on. Sorry, there was a flickering of power just to be.
I thought you were like, oh my god, we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah,
Eliminating an option.
No. I sorry. Maybe I didn't describe the power came back on. It's just flickering occasionally to imply that there are power problems for sure. I wanted it to happen at a dramatically appropriate moment.
Yeah, see that Lieutenant Anders and I are on the same page here.
I believe Lieutenant Anders just said skip the lab.
If it looks dicey, we gotta pay attention here. I mean, the power, if the lift can get us there quick, but if the power goes out, that seems like a priority.
Edom and Valdez are now arguing, and it's clear that you can't skip the lab sort of deal, right? Like, if you don't go on one of their two missions, they're gonna execute the other mission without you. So if you're like, oh, we're gonna go to the lab and skip it, Edom's gonna just leave with his team and go to the lab without you while you go with Valdez.
That's fine. If they split once we're on our way, that's
okay.
That's them. But
all right.
If we're going to make the most of protecting ourselves and maybe helping the others, we need as many doctors as possible, even if they're these other kinds of doctors.
I think Dr. Tawaguchi and I will go to the tower.
Right now? You're not going to wait?
He 100% guaranteed it. What more guarantee do I need to get us off faster than going into the bowels of the station and potentially seeing who knows what's down there before the power cuts out?
And doing what happened in the command center here again.
Nope,
Strength
different
in numbers, Dr. Phineas. We've got to stick together a little bit here.
Tawaguchi has his breaker. He says it will work. I trust him.
Tawaguchi is just like,
you just met the man and you're going to trust all of our lives on a guarantee out of nowhere.
And
don't
you
worry.
nearly
All
had me
we
killed.
need is an hour of training with you, Dr. Mason. Dr. Mason. Just an hour of training here.
I'll do it in 30 minutes.
Why don't you stay here with me and do the training while your friends go execute their missions? As they say,
to guarantee we will all die.
Yes. As they say, you should always split up in situations like these and apply your best people elsewhere. Our strongest mind should stay here, and the strongest body should go do whatever they're going to do. When he makes the dismissive gesture, He's gesturing towards Dr. Phillip, not towards Lieutenant Anders.
Anders would go and pull Dr. Phineas aside for a minute and just say, "Look, you do not leave until we are back if you are staying."
Where would I go? Do you know how long it would take the shuttle to get here? I'm just saying
I'm
it is
saying you do
safe
not go
up
to
here.
that tower until we are back from where we are going, the reactor, the lab. Honestly, you should just be coming with us, but
How long? I mean, how long is it going to take them to go down to the lab, then down to? I mean, you said the power is really far away versus an hour just to. I feel like
Dr.
these times don't
Edam's
sync up.
just like, oh, it should just be a quick trip down to the lab, maybe 5 minutes. You can see that two of the people standing behind Edam are like,
And to the power room is what, 10 minutes? Asking Edom specifically.
oh, Edam's like, I don't know anything about getting down to the reactor. Valdez is like, we're going to fast rope through the chimney down to the power station. If we don't engage the station's upriver pumping system, we're going to get an automatic shutdown and we're going to lose power. You're not going to have an hour to tinker tot on your little laptop there and learn how to hack the system when the power goes out.
And you could help get power restored when we get down there.
that's your specialty.
Specialty is cybernetics, which is useless in this situation.
Well, it starts with electricity. I don't know much.
Tawaguchi, do you actually think
So,
you will have enough power
when
to
you
make
say
this
your
done?
specialty is cybernetics, Valdez is like, look, come with me. And she physically grabs you and like pulls you into the shuttle so that, you know, like the half destroyed shuttle. So it's just the two of you privately. And she's like, look, I didn't want to say it out there. Dr. Jensen is missing, as is the android Hinton. Okay? I think they're still down.
Hinton's here. And I pull out the device locator.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, okay. Well, I was going to say if you wanted cybernetics, is that the mountain? That's
Yes.
nowhere near here. Okay, look, here's the problem. Dr. Jensen and Hinton are missing, as are Lance Corporal Franco, PFC Glockner, Corporal
Sadist
Kadir,
Spirit.
and PFC Weaver. Okay, we have a lot of people down there. You seem like a smart guy. I'm telling you, we need more guns on the line up here. If we get the reactor working and we can find the missing members of Siege Squad, you're talking 4 more people with guns to point towards the bugs. All right? Do the math yourself. You have once power's working, you have an hour to use your little laptop and do your brain stuff. Okay? Now, while she says this, she pushes you into the 5-point restraining harness chair and then looms over you with a hand beside your head and is like dangerously close while talking to you. It's kind of like weirdly like intimidating, but also kind of psychosexual.
I'm not sure what's happening right now.
I need you on my side, okay? I
Overload.
don't know how to get a reactor working, and you seem like you have your fucking head screwed on straight. If you'll just stop slapping your dick around with Kawaguchi, okay? Kawaguchi is a fucking drama queen who's got his dick so far up of Eden's ass, the two of them can't even see each other, all right? I'm afraid they're going to start kissing.
Remember the back of your head
seeing
that
this
time where
very
I
differently.
remember back once upon a time where I shot one of those things and it's fucking bulletproof?
And that was a baby.
It's just somewhere in the back of your head, a memory of me going, ah!
Yeah, but that was a
it.
shitty little pistol, right?
That's true.
It was an SMG. It's the biggest gun I've ever seen in my
Okay,
life.
yeah, but she's got pulse rifles.
You reload it going like this. All right. What was it, Lieutenant?
She slams her other hand, so now you're pinned
Sergeant
to the seat.
Look into my eyes.
All right. I feel like he's like slowly slouching lower and lower in the seat. All right, Sergeant Valdez. If power won't even make it an hour, I don't see any choice. But I must tell you, the people missing, do not account for them in your plans to return. I mean, you have seen what happens to people after exposed, right?
Yeah, we've all seen some real shit here. Okay, those
then
are
C Company
Marines.
is gone. Remove them. Gone.
You know a lot about our org chart, Doctor.
I'm just repeating what you just told me. We didn't take that piece of paper, did we? That Kaplan had.
I didn't.
But
don't think I did.
you've remembered it apparently because you knew they were C Company.
Yeah.
I just repeated back what she just
Oh,
said.
Siege Company. Yes, yes.
Oh, Siege,
Okay,
Siege.
yes.
Yeah.
She says, "Okay, fine. Are you on my side?"
I am on the side that says F the lab to power.
Okay.
I will say what I need to get the group moving, but I am not visiting or supporting Eden.
I want to get back to Manson and Anderson outside. It's like you and her have this intensely weird, intimidating, threatening, but physical encounter. Edom is just like, all right, well, it would seem our resident gorilla is busy intimidating your mentally weakest member. For the rest of you, you said your name was Anders?
That's right.
You seem like you understand what's going on. You should prepare the doctor for this particular mission. I don't have a lot of supplies that I can help you with, but as long as we can get to the lab through the elevator, we should go now, immediately.
Yeah, time's wasting. Sounds like the elevator's our best bet. Root around the shuttle, I guess, and see if we got any rope just in case. But let's roll. You got any climbing equipment? Oh man,
The Sergeant Valdez has all of the rope in the hangar. You go to like the external like emergency pilot supplies on
yeah, what do I
your
get?
shuttle, and there's like no rope in there. It's just like a little medical kit for boo-boos and like a locator
A
beacon
flint
and
and
a
steel.
flare.
I like the idea that taped to one side of the survival pouch is the work order to resupply the survival pouch.
Herb Baker.
Yeah.
As soon
Submitted
as
3
funds
months
allow.
ago.
Oh my god. All right. We'll saddle up. Let's roll.
Dr. Manson, which of the 3 missions would you like to go on?
I'm going to the lab.
Okay, so it sounds like we have 2
need
people going to
answers.
the lab, and then Dunamis is simultaneously going with Valdez to the chimney. Unless you want to change to go to the lab now that the other 2 have committed to the lab.
Oh, okay. I thought we could do like both the
just,
lab and the reactor, but
well, I'm
like,
just asking
but we're
Dunamis
going
which
to the lab
mission he wants to
first.
deploy on now that Valdez has intimidated him.
Do you feel intimidated by your
I thought we had
lesser?
to go. We were all heading towards
So
lab and power in the
your
same
guys'
direction.
plan is to go to the reactor on the inside of the building. Valdez's plan is to rope through the chimney and approach the reactor as quickly as possible, skipping all. She's like, there are carcinids inside this facility. Someone let them in. We don't know where they are. We need to skip all the bugs and need to drop to the bottom as quickly as possible to get to the reactor. And if the elevator stops working while we're in it, do you have any idea how fucked we are? No, we need to be fast roping down.
So stairs are the options because of bugs. Elevator because we're about to lose power because you guys said I won't have an hour to even do the learning. I hate to say it, chimneys and rappelling are not my thing, but yeah.
Dr. Kawaguchi's like, we're definitely going to have an hour. The power is definitely going to stick around. Brookman's like, we got to
I
get
wish
to
you
the
people
tower.
could agree on one damn thing. I'm going to turn the power on. I will be right back.
Anders will say to Manson, Dr. Manson, look, where do you need me? I'm going to be the most use helping out on the reactor, but do you want me here with you in the lab, or am I going to the lab?
If there's a door that's damaged or something, we're going to need your help to get in there so we can figure out how to protect ourselves and get out. Like if you come with us, you're going to add a different dynamic that'll help us get in and out of there as quickly as possible so we can go help out with the power.
I'll trust you on this one.
I was waiting for Tagaguchi to then back me into a corner and yell at me some more.
No, we're going to execute both of these missions at the same time.
Hell yeah, we're so screwed.
Yeah.
It's going to go apart.
So